Hello, America. I am Leroy George. I am here to destroy the Michigan federal government. The Flint water crisis is nothing to the crisis they pulled on me. 40 years ago, when I was a 16-year-old boy, I was drafted by the state of Michigan to serve this country. I was literally kidnapped out of my home at 16 years old by an Army recruiter, driven to Detroit, Michigan, where the Army recruiter sat there the whole day while I took my physical and deliberately failed the written test. And still, by the end of the day, I was sworn in to serve my country at 16 years old because of Michigan's federal government. Unfortunately, in 2009 and 2000, my arthritis got so bad in my back that I was sent to the VA to be mentally and physically looked at because of the attitude that I had. Well, in 2000, the Kent County VA misdiagnosed me bipolar. Put me on Seroquel, 100 to 200 milligrams of Seroquel. The dose was supposed to be dropped 6 months to a year after that, but unfortunately the psychiatrist that put me on that had to retire after 6 months. 2 years later, in approximately 2003, one Diane K. Shea gets fired from Battle Creek VA and comes over here to the Grand Rapids VA, raises my Seroquel intake from 100 to 200 milligrams a day to 700 milligrams a day. Darn near killed me. Attempted murder charges, I think we call that in America. And 2009, 2010, Kent County Jail turns into a correctional facility. Some trailer park trash, who happened to know my wife, my caregiver, I should say, accuses me of a sex crime. So, the cop that took the police report didn't even know the first thing in police academy that they taught her. Before you even take a police report, you get a name. She didn't even have a name on the police report. The tramp Sarah the whore Hall referred to me as Vicky George's husband. Well, fortunately, Vicky George had to be my caregiver because of the mental state that I was in. And then Bobby Joe Ritchie, who happened to be the cop that takes the false police report, turns it over to one Edward Gregory Kolakowski, whatever you want to call the Polak. And he turns around on July 13th at 10:20 in the morning and calls my caregiver up and threatens her over the telephone. So of course, me being the George I was, I went out there to meet with him. Because I tried to call him back and he didn't answer his phone. He said he told my caregiver, he said, you have Mr. George here by 1 o'clock or I will be out to your home to arrest him. Well, the funny thing is on this police report, they don't even have the right address. They don't have a name, they don't have an address. They didn't know me from Adam or Eve. Well, I get out there by a little after 1 o'clock. Edward Gregory Kokowski, being the Grand Rapids throwaway cop he is, like the rest of these county boys out here, because of a situation that happened between me and the Grand Rapids sergeant in '92, 18 years before this, this is nothing but a police profiling case. he asked me if I knew some child named Destiny Corn, and I looked at him and said, if she's a long, dark-haired girl, get that one in here. If she's a long, dark-haired girl with brown eyes, yeah, I know her. And so he started questioning and interrogating me in his office. He asked me to tell. He says, "Well, what happened that day?" And it was February 28th. Put your face in there. Put your face in the camera. Show your face and your hair. Come on, don't dick around. We're recording this shit. Put your face. You're not going to get your face in back here. My face is not in that camera. This is all going to get cut out. Don't worry about it.
You gotta go
get
right
up there. You got to. I want your eyes and your hair in that camera.
Go right in front of your dad.
Go sit right down here. If you
Okay,
have to.
Lee.
Stop yelling at me.
We can cut
You
this
want
out.
us to
That's
fucking
no
do
problem.
shit for you.
But yes,
Right there.
there is the long, dark-haired, brown-eyed girl I was talking about, Edward Gregory Kakowski. That's right, buddy. Your butt is mine. Go on, sis.
No, apologize.
Yeah. So Edward Gregory Kakowski asked me, says, well, what happened that day when I started talking, he wanted to keep butting in. Said, that ain't how it went. That ain't how it went. That ain't how it went. And I got sick and tired of hearing that and looked in his face and said, well, then how did it win? He said, well, I got your DNA on this child's pussy around her vagina, and she can identify the head of your dick. Well, you know what? My caregiver, who happened to be my wife, Kakowski, couldn't identify the head of my dick. I couldn't identify it because of the weight was on me. And then he asked me if I go downstairs, be willing to go downstairs and give up my DNA. I told him I got no problem giving my DNA up. You got my DNA somewhere, you better prove it to me. So we went downstairs. That's where Bobby Joe Ritchie, the other cop, shows up with the little silver tip with the blue lining and swabs my cheeks. Edward Gregory Kakowski at this time is standing behind me, out of my sight. He said Bobby Joe Ritchie had to swab his cheek for a minute. No, you don't, Edward Gregory Kakowski. You only got to get saliva. You don't have to stand back behind me in sign language, idiot. And as soon as she was done swabbing my second cheek and put the last swab in that little tin, I was two-handed knocked across the frickin' jail by a 250-pound cop that did this to me. That's right, Kakowski, your ass is mine. And I did 299 days in that jail for something I didn't do. 10 months. When I got out of jail, 1 month after I got myself out of jail, I was ordered a polygraph test, which is papers right here. I have everything in black and white that says I could be ordered a polygraph test at my expense by a probation officer at any time. 1 month after I got out of jail, I was ordered a polygraph test. Passed it with flying colors. I not only have one, but I have two after the crimes that probation officer, Andrea Tiller, committed on me. I took the test on June 13th, 1 month and 5 days after I was released. Passed it with flying colors. The polygraph examiner, Tom Stewart, told me he would email the results to Andrea Tiller. It took me 3.5 months waiting for my results that I paid $300 for. Finally, I got tired of it and had my mother call this punk up and tell him if he didn't get me a copy of the polygraph results, she was contacting an attorney. He contacted me that afternoon, told me that he would have the results on his desk outside of his office the next morning. I went and picked them up. They were unsigned. Fortunately, that was the end of September of 2011. October 9th of 2011, 2 weeks after that, is when I received Andrea Tiller's copy when she took the tether off of my ankle. That is when I realized that she committed forgery on the polygraph test, because the copy I got from her was supposedly signed by Tom Stewart. Well, there's no way Mr. Stewart can sign anything over an email. That's when I turned around and contacted Tom Stewart about 7-8 months later and told him I need a legal signed copy. And that's when I got his signature. And even Ray Charles could tell the same person didn't sign either one of them. Tom Stewart, Andrea Tiller, Judge James Robert Redford, he is the biggest criminal in this whole case. He has the nerve to call himself a fair and impartial judge, but yet he calls people, innocent people, liars in his courtroom. No, Redford, because when you missed out on the Michigan Supreme Court bench to Richard Bernstein, the blind man, yeah, you remember that. You left 17th Circuit Court in Kent County and went to work for this Governor Snyder here in Lansing. And now, a week and a half ago, they put you as director of the old folks veterans home out here? No, you're not going to be director for long. As soon as this video hits, you will be replaced. That's right, this is Leroy Walter George, and I'm coming after every single one of you. In America, if there's a damn federal judge, federal attorneys, I have been ripped off for over $6,000 trying to hire fake attorneys in Michigan. If there's a federal judge, a federal frickin' attorney, or a goddamn President Obama that's got a set of balls to jump on this case, take this ride, get me the money I deserve, you contact me at leroygeorge55@gmail.com, and I will be more than happy to answer your emails. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day. Did I bury him or what?
Go, Hud.